Welcome back to another video on the channel. Dominic Thiem's fantastic 2020 continued as he beat Stefanos Tsitsipas in the opening match of the World Tour Finals. We all know Dominic Thiem's had a fantastic year so far, reaching the final of the Australian Open, which he lost to Novak Djokovic, and then finally winning his maiden Grand Slam title in the US Open after coming back to defeat Alexander Zverev. Stefanos Tsitsipas hasn't had a great 2020 by his high standards, but did obviously win this event last year, so we'll come into it with huge confidence. I thought it was a good match considering, both players had some time off and were supposedly carrying small injuries into the match. I thought it was played at a good quality. The production was very good, but I still do find it very difficult to watch and enjoy tennis as much with no crowd, especially indoors. But I'm going to do daily uploads where I just talk about each match and look ahead to the one later that day. I did do a live text commentary of the match as well on Grand Slam Tennis Online, and I will be doing one of them every single day. So if you do want to tune into them, then I will leave a link to the description below where you can find them. Also do subscribe, it helps a lot with the channel, and I will be covering lots of events in the future, hopefully live from the event if coronavirus allows. So moving on to talking a little bit about the Tsitsipas and Thiem match. I made Tsitsipas a slight favourite going into the match. I just think Tsitsipas, if he turned up in the form he did last year where he blew everybody off the court with aggressive, positive ground strokes, moving into the net, controlling points early, I think he's one of the best net players in the world. I think he's a fantastic volleyer, really attacks the net with conviction. Moves in quickly, and I think on a fast hard court it suited that sort of style. You saw recently at Roland Garros with Tsitsipas that when he really turns it on, takes the ball and early moves into the net, as I say, he dominated Djokovic for 2 sets, and I just saw him doing that again today. Obviously Dominic Thiem's had a fantastic 2020. You can see already that he's improving for the experience of having to come from behind the big matches, having to win tie breaks, having to play his best tennis, rely on his plan B. I think Thiem's a player that's improving all the time, and now he's won that maiden Grand Slam title. I think you can see mentally he's definitely a lot better already, and he's a player that's going to continue to improve year upon year. Set 1 was very, very close, as all sets were really. Both players served incredibly well. I think Dominic Thiem served at 70% in the opening set, Tsitsipas 80%. There was very few breakpoint opportunities, and it did eventually get to a tie break. Tsitsipas took an early lead in the tie break. I think he led 4-1 and 5-2 at one point, but as I've just said, Thiem's had the experiences this year of having to win tie breaks, having to come from behind, having to come back and win from losing situations. He was 2 sets to love down in that US Open final at Alexander Zverev. He won 3 tie breaks against Daniil Medvedev in the quarterfinals. And yeah, he's just had a fantastic year, and he's just continuing to improve all the time. Thiem got himself out of a hole again. He played a few fantastic points, served a couple of aces, and did take that tie break 7-6, 7-5, sorry. A very close one that certainly could have went either way, but I just thought Thiem used his experience and lengthened the rallies at the vital stages, which sort of gave him the edge in that one. Tsitsipas, to his credit, came back very, very well in the second set. You did wonder whether he would unravel and Thiem would sort of run away, but Tsitsipas gained an early break in set 2. Positive, aggressive style, attacked the net, kept making first serves, aced Thiem a number of times, and yeah, Tsitsipas was confident enough to serve out the second set. All games again going very quickly. The courts are playing very fast. There's very few breakpoint opportunities. I think if a player starts slow or doesn't serve well this week, then they're in trouble, especially when they're against a top 8 player. But Tsitsipas deservedly took that second set. I was very impressed with how he fought back from losing that tight opening set. Got his head back very, very quickly, reset, and use his aggressive, positive style to level the match up with 1 set apiece, and that was at a point where I thought Tsitsipas had momentum, but I was very, very impressed with how Thiem turned the tables again. He lengthened the rallies, he kept Tsitsipas deep and on the run, and if there's one criticism of Tsitsipas's game, I don't think he's the best defensive player. I don't think his footwork's great, he hasn't got a great backhand slice. and Thiem just had consistent, relentless, brutal ground strokes, finding the lines, and Tsitsipas couldn't get in the front foot, he couldn't attack the net, and Thiem was just very clever, cut the errors out of his game, and as I said, just made balls down the line, kept Tsitsipas on the run. And yeah, Tsitsipas isn't a great defensive player. Give Thiem too many short balls, allow him to take control, and Thiem raced into a 3-love lead in set 3. Just playing fantastic, brutal tennis that saw him win that US Open. A sort of return to form, and Thiem's a player, in my opinion, who gets better and better as the match goes on. We know how fit he is. He's incredibly fit. Arguably the hardest worker on the tour. Times the ball better and better as the match progresses, and the writing sort of looked on the wall for Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas, to his credit again, fought back in set 3. He refound his serve, started to serve and volley again, attacked the net again with success. But I think, Thiem always looked like he was capable of hitting winners and serving the match out, and that's exactly what he'd done. The longer the rallies went, the more he sort of favoured Dominic Thiem, and although Thiem, his backhand did let him down at big stages in that third set, missing it down the line a couple of times. The consistency of Thiem and the way he served was a recipe for success, and he claimed a very good win to kick off his ATP World Tour Finals. Just looking ahead for both players, I think Thiem will have immense confidence that he can win this title. It would be a fantastic way for him to finish this year. Tsitsipas, by no way is his tournament over. I thought he played very well today in patches, and if he can continue to serve well and attack the net with aggression and conviction, then there's no reason why he can't pick up a number of wins, and he did win a set, which is very important in the round robin format. So moving on to tonight's match, which will be played between Andrei Rublev and Rafael Nadal. Rublev doesn't really need much introduction, although he is a debutant at this event. He has won 5 ATP titles this year, top 10 for the very first time, had some massive wins, and Rafael Nadal obviously also doesn't need any introduction. Won his 13th Roland Garros title the other week, and his 20th Grand Slam title to level with Roger Federer. We know Rafael Nadal has never had much success at his tour finals. In the past, he's not had much success on indoor hardcore events, whereas Andrei Rublev's had a lot of experience and winning experience at this year's indoor hardcore events this year. How do I see this match going? Lots of long rallies, although the courts are playing fast. I think Rublev is very good defensively. He doesn't possess huge power on either stroke, but he is very consistent, particularly his double-handed backhand. He finds great angles, great consistency. The same on the forehand side. Neither players particularly enjoy coming into the net. I expect a lot of long, grueling rallies from the back of the court, but I do think Nadal has the edge of just packing the first big punch and points. If Rublev does hit a short ball and Nadal can time the forehand and backhand from an early stage, then I do think he might just break through the defence of Rublev a little bit easier than what Rublev can break through Nadal's. Wouldn't surprise me at all if Rublev took a set or even won the match against Rafa. The way he's played this year has been fantastic for a young player. To win 5 ATP titles shows he can play under pressure and serve matches out. Rafa hasn't had a great deal of practice or practice at all on hard courts this year. We obviously know he skipped the US hard court season at Cincinnati in the US Open. But if Rafa turns up to this match at 90 to 95%, which I'm expecting him to, he has had a period of rest after the French Open, and I think he sort of wants to doubt the critics. He's had a little bit of criticism this week that he hasn't had much success indoors. He hasn't had much success at tour finals in the past, and he probably wants to right those wrongs. I expect him to come out tonight and make a real statement, be aggressive from the off, be powering forehands for winners on a very quick hard court. But best of luck to Andrei Rublev. Obviously his debuting match at the tour finals, but I'm sure he won't be overawed by the occasion, and he comes into this match in huge confidence. So looking forward to that match. I will probably be covering the late match tomorrow with a live test commentary, and I'll be doing another video tomorrow as well. In the meantime, do subscribe to the channel and also follow me on Twitter. I will leave links that in the description below. But I hope everybody's enjoying the tennis. I'm sure it's going to continue to be a fantastic event. The top 8 players in the world competing for the title, which should be played sometime next weekend. I think Sunday is the final. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you on tomorrow's video.